Welcome to episode 11 of the Takes from the Logo podcast. I am what? No, it's on.
Oh, okay, cool.
When it's green, we're good. It's like
We
a traffic light.
Okay.
We think.
Anyways.
See, I didn't drive until like a year ago, so I wouldn't know.
Anyways, I'm Jonah Middleton. I'm here with Theo Mandelbaum, Connor Hart, and Brian Purdy. We've made the decision that due to some of the inconsistency with people being here and not being here for whatever reasons, we should start off each episode with our injury report and list who's out, why they're out, just to give some clarification to the viewers. So our most recent of losses to our roster temporarily is Max. He's out with a couple of things. He's really had it rough the past week or so. On Sunday, which who knows when this will come out, but about a week ago, he had a severe ankle sprain in a basketball game. Very early in the game, it's the first quarter.
To the same team he sprained his ankle against last time too in the championship
So
game.
he's got some bad luck against them, and
They've got some voodoo on him.
I heard from the coach, whoever that would be, that it was really, really frustrating without him on the court, and that he's a really, really high impact player when he's out there, and he totally changes the dynamic of the team.
When he isn't getting tossed out for swearing.
Right. So when he's not getting ejected from the game, he is really impactful. He also, as of today that we're recording, is out with abdominal soreness and illness. He's going through it right now, apparently. So shout out to Max, and we hope he has a quick recovery because we're not sure how this is going to go for him.
He's in his flu game right now.
People listening may not actually be able to tell. Nothing is seriously wrong as far as we can tell. So it's going to be more evident on the camera that that's clear. But I don't want people to actually think that he's like terminally ill. He's not. From what we can tell,
He should be fine in a day.
he should be good.
Maybe a
In
little
about 5
dehydrated.
hours, he should be fine.
As for Noah, we kind of have a Kyrie Irving situation on our hands where we don't really hear from dude that much. He'll occasionally speak in the group chat, and other than that, we think he's just out playing PS5. And
Does he have the PS5?
yeah,
See, I didn't even know
I've
that.
I didn't know that.
See, I didn't know that. Like, that's the
I've
thing.
seen no. I had to go to his house to shower because the water at my house was off because of like a pipe burst or something, and so he had it. Sure enough. And
He didn't say a word about it.
No.
See, he
And
lies.
so-
he just lies dormant.
I think
in the group chat.
I think he had brought it up once, and I was about to leave, and he was like in his room playing PS5, playing Madden, I think. And I walked in, I was like, "Oh, I forgot you had this." I think he's the only one of us that has next gen.
Yeah,
You have
so-
next gen though, right, Brian?
Yeah, I
His
have
next
what-
gen and a half.
I have I have like with the S.
Okay, that's
So,
better than the rest of us though.
Message
Yeah, I
to
don't even use
Noah.
Like,
Emerge from your dormancy.
Honestly, Max, when he showed up for the first time today in like what felt like weeks, I knew something was wrong. That's how we knew.
He was on
He-
time.
In
He
the group
only
chat.
Oh.
he only texts when something's
yeah.
terribly wrong.
It's not terribly wrong. We just clarified. Nothing is terribly wrong.
Sorry, terribly unwell.
Unwell. Yeah, so we've got a couple people. I actually think that's a more fun way to just introduce what's going on and give updates.
Yeah, because we
And
don't know either.
We never know what the injuries are going to look like on a week-to-week basis. So
We still haven't gotten our Woj bomb yet.
hopefully they'll both recover soon. Max will probably recover a little bit quicker. Noah may have a permanent issue with not being active. We'll see if he won't listen to this either, so he has no idea.
You'll be fine by March.
Yeah. God. I don't even know where to go from that. I
All right,
don't know if the audio picked it up, but
What's the first topic?
let's start off with the an all-star conversation. We just got our all-star starters a few days
A week
ago.
ago.
There was a lot of drama about a specific player who was voted into a spot when he shouldn't have been, and I don't even have that much reason to be against it, as much as Connor especially. But let's just recap the starters. There's really only one that sticks out because
And happy for
The
the
rest
rest
of them-
though.
There was one
Yes.
imposter.
there is one that doesn't make any sense, and then some guys that are, I think there's just one guy that's a first-time All-Star that we're happy for. Obviously, the person we're talking about that doesn't deserve a starting spot as far as we're concerned is Andrew Wiggins. He's averaging a whopping 18 points per game with 2 assists and 4 rebounds. Connor, go ahead and share your thoughts because I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Wait, don't forget when you name his stats. Don't forget to say good defense.
Sorry.
I was about to say, the K-pop stands clearly saw the culture-changing defense that he puts on display every single night. When I said that I predicted in like 2016 Wiggins to be a future All-Star, this is not what I meant. Yeah, I really wish that he never would have gotten on the ballot. As a person, I'm happy for him. As a basketball player, no, he's a good dude. He doesn't care, but he's a family. He's a family. You know, I don't know. He's getting the All-Star ring. It's probably the only ring he'll ever get, hopefully. But yeah, just it was stupid, bro. There were multiple better choices than him, not only as a starter but in the All-Star game period. And he's going to be the reason certain guys, or one or two guys, is going to get snubbed from the game that probably deserve to be there more than him. So, yeah, when you're the 4th best player on your team, you probably should not be in the All-Star game, just as a general rule, unless it's like the Super Team Warriors. And he is not Kevin Durant, even though we plays the same position. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. But
any other thoughts on Andrew
should
Wiggins?
we explain how like the reasons why he really like got in for people that
I mean,
don't know?
I think most people know how screwed up fan voting is, especially when things are so easily swayed by one, a fan base of a basketball team, and then even worse, a fan base of a K-pop band. So no disrespect to anybody who listens to K-pop. It is kind of funny to joke around with, though. Yeah, I mean, it's so easily swayed by things like that, and we'll talk about changes that need to be made to player selection later on in the episode. But if there's no other thoughts about Wiggins, let's just react to the roster.
I mean, I just think don't be mad at him, be mad at the fans and the way the voting is constructed.
No, I'm gonna be mad at him.
Because there is a lot of you can be mad at him for not trying when he was on the Wolves, but don't be mad at him for getting voted. That's not his fault.
I agree, unfortunately. In all reality,
Warriors fans ruin everything. That's just the truth.
They're not even the worst fans. That's the sad part.
Dude, I know Lakers fans are bad. Actually, no, I'm not even going to make that argument. But they're top 3. Them, Philadelphia. It's not you, Cole. Them, Philadelphia, and the Lakers, I would say, are the worst 3.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that list.
Maybe Boston?
Soon after comes Boston and Toronto. Toronto, dude, they are so arrogant.
The super fans, yes, the super fans. But anyway, yeah. So the rest of the All-Stars, who do we got?
So we'll start off with the West. Team captain, quite obviously due to his enormous fan base, both of himself and his team. LeBron James, the team captain, despite missing a lot of time this year. I think it's a little odd, but also not surprising.
Look at his stats, though.
He's been great when he has played, especially as of late. When he's been healthy, he's been really, really good. And it's LeBron, so you can't really complain because, I mean, every year he obviously does what LeBron does, and he'll probably be an all-star captain until he retires.
Yeah.
So no surprise there. Steph Curry is one of the guards.
Yeah.
He's been an 8-time all-star. I don't know how many consecutive this is for him, but I mean, it's been,
well, he didn't make
other
it
than
into
injury seasons, he's been there for who knows how long. I'm getting a phone call.
I think it was since 2014, I want to say. That or 13.
That sounds right. The other guard spot is first-time All-Star Ja Morant, which I think this is incredibly well-deserved. I'm super happy for him as a Ja Morant fan, but also just somebody who enjoys basketball. He's been electric this year.
Their team is so fun, dude. Like, just the Grizzlies in general. As long as we're not playing them, I love them.
Dude, playing them, it's like you just get locked up.
You know what they are? They're like the epitome of Patrick Beverly if he was a team, which is ironic considering they traded him to us.
They actually, are really productive when they're on the court, though. They don't just run around.
No cardio.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't Ja? There was the other night where Ja hit the and one and then missed the free throw. Did they win that game in overtime? Oh, they didn't.
They lost.
Oh, they lost it. Yeah.
Desmond Bain went off too, though. Yeah, and then the other All-Stars.
The front court players that we have We talked about Wiggins. We talked about LeBron. Closing out the West, Nikola Jokic, MVP candidate. There's not really any way to describe how good he is.
He might even be number
impact-wise.
1 on my MVP at this point.
He's
Yeah.
averaging 14 boards a game, bro. That's so
Insane.
crazy. With they're picking up a little.
I feel like every night I see something that Nikola Jokic has done, whether it's one play or just his stat line.
Dude,
or
honestly-
the fact that the Nuggets have been as good as they have been is kind of surprising. I think when we went through projections, some of us may have predicted them to fall off a little bit.
They for a minute there, they weren't exactly like coasting, but yeah, dude. Honestly, like Jokic's biggest like MVP and All Star case is watching the Nuggets without him.
Oh my goodness.
We
So
beat
much.
them. I'm pretty sure he didn't play it was like 9 or 10 minutes against the Wolves, and in that time, the Nuggets were outscored by 23 points. I'm pretty sure that he sat.
It's disgusting.
Dude, yeah. My Detorian Prince literally turned into a demigod for like 20 minutes. But besides that, it was crazy.
And it feels like they're so hard. It's so hard to get ahead when he's on the court. Like, it's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to me how much one player can make a difference. Connor, really?
We'll leave that in. That's
Anyway, and then in the East, we have Kevin Durant as the All-Star captain. For a while, it was going back and forth between him and Giannis, but KD got voted the All-Star captain, although he probably is going to be replaced after. He's probably going to draft his team, but he's going to be out for a while, right? So
I think so.
yeah, and then there's Giannis, who, reigning MVP, or not reigning MVP, reigning finals MVP. There's Trae Young, who's been having a great year as well. The Hawks are finally starting to figure it out. There's Joel Embiid, who is also making an MVP case and has been probably one of the top 5 players so far in the league. And then there's DeMar DeRozan, who has been absolutely incredible this year. And I feel like all those were pretty deserved.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. Super happy for DeMar. Obviously, having an excellent season. The Bulls have been really, really good. And he's the guy who got snubbed last year. I don't think he wasn't an all-star, and Mike Conley, of all people, was because for whatever reason, people love the Jazz. Coaches love the Jazz, rather. Yeah. So I mean, he's making up for it this season, and then some.
It's a revenge tour, baby.
Yeah. It should be. I mean, it's the All-Star game, so it's obviously being watched. But matchup-wise, I think this is going to be fun.
It's so dumb that he's considered a guard, though.
Yeah,
DeMar. It helped him
we'll
here.
get into that.
Yeah, but he plays majority of his minutes at the forward. Which is
Yeah.
good. Anyway.
He's even played power forward.
Oh yeah, he was for the Spurs last year.
Mhm.
Anyway,
All right, we've got some directions we can go here. Do we want to pick our own roster entirely together? Do we want to talk about what needs to change with the game?
Let's
Or
why don't we-
voting,
okay,
rather.
how about we do the rosters and then we can point out differences in our roster and what could happen depending on,
Sure.
because they're announced tomorrow, right? The reserves are
no,
announced.
it's today.
Tonight.
Oh, it's tonight. Okay. So
As
we
of
can-
this
As of this recording,
We'll
they're going to
see.
be
As of
out by the time this gets up.
Thursday night, February 3rd.
Yeah. So
So we can point out differences in our roster and what we think might happen based on the voting, and then we can segue that into changing the voting.
I just saw a headline that says the K-pop Army won the NBA All-Star voting battle, and then it continues on. I don't know what else it says, but that's pretty accurate.
yeah, the fan voting. But yeah, let's
Up
not
larger.
worry too
Alright.
much about the fan voting.
So
We're super tight for those now.
let's
we-
just
for now.
let's just
Go with
start
the
with
starters?
our starters. All right. So
Do we do captains first?
Well, let's should we
Let's
just
go by
the
conference,
starters?
I think.
I feel like in the East, the only person I would even debate is maybe you'd want Zach LaVine over Trae Young, maybe. That's a stretch.
I think the East starters were
I think
pretty
they're-
right. I think they're right.
Yeah.
honestly.
Good though.
I'll go with that.
So what we've got:
We've got Trae Young.
Trae Young, DeMar
DeMar.
DeRozan, Giannis, KD, Embiid.
Yeah,
I think that's.
We're gonna keep
As good as
KD
it
as a
gets.
captain.
I mean, it won't really matter.
think it
They're going to
matters.
start anyways.
Yeah.
in terms of who is playing the best, you would probably give it to Embiid, but I don't really think that matters.
Yeah.
Him or Giannis.
I'm not really too concerned with
Yeah, captains.
that stuff. So then the West will obviously make a couple of changes. I don't really think they're that far off, honestly. I think it's just Wiggins
Yeah.
that gets taken out.
Yeah, probably.
I could put here we go. Unfortunately, I'm on the Lakers part of the NBA page just to look at the voting. I mean, I think you just give it to the next highest vote getter, which is Paul George, who's been good.
He hasn't played.
I mean, yes, but I think when he has played, and obviously he's going to be out, he's been good enough. And looking at the other guys on this list, I mean,
Let me see how many games he's played in.
I don't know who else.
I'd still rather have like.
I think either
Doncic.
Gobert or I think Gobert.
Doncic
He's
he's
a
a
guard.
guard. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
I
right.
think between Gobert and Cat, one of them.
I would put Cat in the starters.
That's fair. I mean, either way, Paul George is going to be out, so we won't even consider Paul George.
Paul George
That'll
would
be
have been if
better.
he was healthy, most likely, but he just hasn't been.
So
we're gonna
our
go
West
Cat.
starters would be
Yeah.
Curry.
Or-
I think Ja is right
Mhm.
there.
I think just because of record and because that's just because media and coaches eat that up, I feel like Gobert would probably start. But
We're going with ours.
But ours,
This is
okay.
our-
we're-
But yeah, no, fan voting picks the starters anyways. And I mean, Cat had tremendously more than Gobert did this season.
Paul George has literally played in less than half the Clippers games.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna be honest.
He is
I thought he'd been there
26.
for a little bit longer.
No, 26, and they've played 53.
And
Yeah,
they,
never
they,
mind.
They still came back down 35.
We'll get to that.
All right, yeah,
we'll get to that.
Sorry,
Yeah, so let's go with Towns. So we have
Okay.
Steph, Ja, LeBron,
Cat.
Cat, and Jokic.
Yep.
Now for reserves, things get a little bit more interesting. There's still an odd layout. We get 2 players in the backcourt, 3 in the front court, and then 2 wild cards.
Which
So which conference do we want to start in
let's
here?
start with the East, just because we started with
we
the
start
East
with these.
starters.
Okay.
I think
Alright.
this one's the more interesting.
So
one.
Zach LaVine.
Yes, Zach should probably be a lock because he's just
Yeah.
he's had a really similar stat line to DeMar, and they've just been like trading.
Oh, this is
huge.
tough. Ooh, this is
I'm
really
gonna go Harden. Zach LaVine and Harden in the
Wait.
backcourt.
I will say I think there is one player that probably is more deserving than Harden.
Who?
Darius Garland.
I think you can make a case for
You
3.
can make it.
I think Harden will
Not
get
that
in.
they're better than Harden, but that I would rather see them in the All-Star game this season because this season they have played very, very well. And I think
I'm
they
just saying,
deserve to be recognized. for this.
Garland, I feel like, has done more this season than Harden has.
I think you could pick Garland. I think you could pick Van Vliet, and I think you could pick LaMelo. And
So-
any of those, I wouldn't be upset about.
So for now, who do we want to say is the second? Because we'll do wild cards last. But who do we want to say
Oh,
is the
I
second
forgot.
guard?
Never mind, I'm dumb.
Yeah. No. I mean, personally, I would put
Go
Harden. I would
Yeah.
put Harden there, and then
Mhm.
Garland is a wild card.
It's a
later.
wild card. So we're just
We'll
gonna
just get
take.
to the wild cards later, I think.
Yeah, but yeah. So let's do the other front court reserves.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh wait,
He hasn't. How long has he been out?
how many games
has he missed?
He's missed like a ton. Too,
We need
though.
to. I think we need to see if he's missed too many games.
Let
Like
me
if it's getting
see.
to the Paul George number.
It's
then we-
not quite there, but he's definitely missed a few. Jimmy's played 33.
out of. I mean,
33 out of
we're a bit over like
50-something?
halfway.
out of
right?
62. So
Oh.
he's missed about half of their games. I think a more deserving first player, Jared Allen.
Sure.
Let's.
I think he deserves to be there.
Yeah.
That's
That's just the first player I thought because first of all, he's in Cleveland. But I don't know. Jared Allen has just been an
I'm still
anchor.
gonna-
Can you pull up the NBA app from here, the ESPN?
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
the
got-
standings. just
Is there
to see.
someone else that you would rather have?
I'm currently right now. I mean, I wouldn't say rather have, but somebody that at least just see on here that's averaging about 26 points per game, even though the team isn't playing well. Jason Tatum.
Oh, Tatum. Yes.
Yeah, I'll put
yes.
Tatum
Tatum,
in.
of course. You know what? You're right. I just completely forgot.
So
about
I
him.
mean, we get 3 here for the front.
For the front
Yeah.
court. So Tatum, I would say.
Tatum. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
What are we?
I would go Jimmy Butler still.
I think Jimmy's fine. Because there also aren't a ton of better
mean-
options.
I mean,
Yeah.
what are we labeling Jaylen Brown as?
He's a guard.
He would be.
Okay.
What do we do?
I just know
with-
we didn't talk about him earlier.
Let's also think about the fact that the Celtics are barely above 500. They're the 9 seed. Do they
Yeah.
deserve 2 All Stars? I don't
I
know. They've
don't-
both been very good.
Honestly, that whole team,
I hate
this
that
team
argument.
deserves this many All Stars. That isn't a good argument to me because what if it's just a super depth team like the Hawks back in 2015 or something like that?
The difference
where-
is the Hawks were playing very, very well.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you look at them, how many All Stars do they deserve? like how many All-Stars does that team deserve as the one seed?
But it all depends on
Because-
you can't like just make a general rule for it. You have to evaluate the specific team. I said
Well, I think
said
you
the
just-
Celtics are barely above 500, and they're the 9 seed. Specifically, them. You could make a case for 2, but I don't want to kick somebody off the team who's on a
I don't
team like
think Jalen-
Cleveland.
I don't think.
I don't think Jalen's gonna get in because he's a guard, and that's
Yeah,
if
I
he
mean-
was a front court player, he would. But
Oh,
I
for
just
sure.
don't. But so I think the East.
Wait, let me.
I'm,
ask you a
I'm
question.
looking at some here. Looking at Miles Bridges. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can label him as an all-star, but I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at. I'm just naming off people. I
If-
don't know
if we're
what
gonna
we're
put
playing on.
Miles
Siakam?
Bridges in. I'm taking
I'm
Butler. I'm taking Tatum.
And
I'm taking
Allen.
Allen.
What do we do with Chris Middleton? Like, do we?
Yeah, that's
I don't-
was another guy. I was
He's
gonna say.
hard.
It's
dude.
hard with him, but
He's not even in the top 10 on either of these
That's 'cause
lists.
he plays for the Bucks, dude.
And I know, but I'm not saying that's why he shouldn't be part of it. But I don't even know if he's positioned as a guard or a forward this year. I would assume he's a guard.
Or no. Wait.
He's a
I think He's a
forward.
forward.
He's a forward.
He's definitely he's a forward.
We'll talk about
they
position.
start Drew Holiday and Grayson.
Let me
Allen.
see what.
It's true.
Let me see what Drew's or Chris has been putting up. He's not even averaging 20.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. All right.
You
So
get-
let's.
well, but
let's
That-
okay.
That's a basic
Let's get to
requirement.
these.
But I mean,
I think
He's played 40.
for our front court players, for me, I would say Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, and Jarrett Allen, just because
Yes.
it's like when I originally imagined getting Jarrett Allen in the All-Star game. Jarrett Allen in the All-Star game. I started okay.
You're fine. No,
Uh,
it was just funny.
I was thinking of him as a reserve and as a wild card.
Yeah.
But this is fine because I don't really see anyone that goes over him for the back. Like the
Yeah.
I mean, what? Who else is
backup
there?
forward.
Who else is
slash
there?
centers.
What, like Siakam, like Tobias Harris, Sabonis? I don't really
I
see
don't-
any
I
of
don't
those
think none of
guys.
those-
Siakam missed too many games at the beginning of the year. I mean, not to be considered, not too many games to be considered, but too many to be put over Jarrett Allen.
He's only played 36. You're right.
so we have our 2 wild card spots.
Okay, and then
Right.
from there, I think we've agreed that Garland's one of them, right?
So
I would put Darius
Yeah,
Garland in
2
there for
wild
sure.
cards is what we get.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Garland, now we need one last.
So
wild
I
card.
think it's between Van Vliet, LaMelo, and then is there anybody else I'm not thinking of? Oh, and Harden. Oh wait, no, we already had Harden. Never mind. I go back.
How many games has Bam missed?
Too many?
He's
missed like 4.
This season?
The only other person averaging 18 plus for the East is Tyler Hero. So I think we have it.
I'm gonna
Bam's played
go
27
for our
games.
2 wild cards. I'm gonna go Garland and Van Vliet.
I agree.
You could make a
like
case
that.
for LaMelo over Van Vliet. I get it. And I know this isn't probably what you should base all-star stuff on because it's just about this season. LaMelo's going to have plenty of chances to not only play but to also start.
I think there's a good chance.
And
that-
Van Vliet may get a chance again, but it's not as certain. And he's played so well.
I just have a feeling that what's it called? I don't think positions matter for replacements, so I'm pretty sure that KD is probably going to get replaced. I bet LaMelo probably gets that spot.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
I've seen people make the case for Sabonis, but
No.
the Pacers have been
Hold
so
on.
bad.
What is he
Yeah,
averaging?
actually, keep going. Keep
Like
going.
I know I was just making the argument to kind of ignore team success a little bit, but when you're as bad as the Pacers have been, when a lot of people expected them to be better, including myself, it's just really hard to look at a guy who's playing on a team that just does not look good at all.
Oh,
Stop allowing the Pacers to get away with this. It's ridiculous. Every year, we're going to go in with a little bit of talent and be mediocre, and we're going to settle for that. And now they're not so mediocre. They suck right now.
He's missed
But this
like-
is ridiculous.
Sabonis has missed like 15, 16 games too. Like, and that matters.
They're just so fine with being a 9 seed, being an 8 seed. It's,
They're not
it's-
even.
it's
They're
blow it
fine
out.
with being a 13.
Well, I
seed.
know, but like in the years past, that's kind of the range they've been in. It's a very, very low playoff seed, and they refuse to do anything. They refuse to trade anybody. And it's getting. They just need to tear it down. I hate when teams get stuck in this phase of just being mediocre for I don't know how many years without making a single move, without being willing to blow it up. It's the same thing with Portland.
Shout out Sacramento.
You know,
He's just a brainwashed
you know
Thunder
a
fan.
player who I think by the end of
No,
the
because it works.
Yeah,
we,
I know.
we did not.
I know.
We didn't keep Paul George and Russell Westbrook together for another 5 years and just waste them. We got rid of them while we
There you
could
go.
when their
Scroll up.
stock was still high.
Yeah, you
And
get a good
it's-
amount. You got a
It's
good
worked.
amount from
The
They've
Westbrook.
gotten a
The
bunch of
Pacers
picks.
have a better record than you guys. I think we know who's really winning.
All right. Before
Right, my fault. They're trying to be mediocre. We're not trying to win at all.
Anyway, sorry. I apologize.
Before we recap our Eastern reserves, I want to talk about a player that I think by the end of the season we might look at and we're not going to say that we're an all-star snub because at this point I wouldn't consider this player that much, but by the end of the season their stats could be pretty good. Vucevic. Honestly, by the end of the season,
Yep.
he started off very slow, which is why I believe he's not really being considered. But I think he's a good enough player. He's been an all-star the past few years, or is it once or twice?
Last year.
Recently, I mean,
Whatever.
I remember.
But he, with how good the Bulls are and how good they're playing, by the end of the season, he'll probably look like a player that could have been an all-star if he didn't start off slow.
It's crazy. People were my mentions at the start of the season telling me how Vucevic was. Some people were trying to tell me he was better than Cat, and I'm like, it wasn't even that. It was just like random people on Twitter, bro. I'm like, man, you really do not watch games. Sorry.
Oh.
It wasn't even
that
that.
doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to take that shot that we're not really even considering a ton. Yeah, but I think that's the East. I feel like that wasn't too bad.
Let's recap what we said. So for starters, we got the normal starting lineup that they have already. Trey, DeMar, KD, Giannis, Embiid. On the bench, we had Levine, Harden. Who else did we say?
Bam. No, not Bam. Sorry, Jimmy. Jarrett.
Jared Allen.
Tatum.
That's right. And then
Garland
and Van Vliet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As for the West All-Stars,
we've already done their starters.
We
get right into the reserves.
No, we've got to replace somebody in their starters. We've got.
We talked about that, didn't we?
No.
I don't think we officially picked our replacement because there's some arguments to be made. There's some things to consider.
Okay.
So we are going to keep Ja and Steph in our backcourt as our guards.
Yeah.
We're going to keep LeBron in the front court. We're going to keep Jokic in our front court. Andrew Wiggins will not be a starter. We don't know who he will even make the All-Star game. But we've got to pick a front court player, in our opinion, who's going to be the starter for this team.
I think
We said Cat.
Cat and I think it's between Cat and Gobert.
And I would say Cat.
And if y'all are gonna, this is not me. They didn't. I'm not lobbying for this. They said this. Okay, I'm not biased. I promise.
I take responsibility. I am lobbying for this.
Yes.
I just sat here and took it. I didn't even pay attention to what they were saying, to be honest.
I don't like Gobert, so
I like Gobert. You guys know I like Gobert, but Cat's better. And I've thought that ever since Cat wasn't missing a bunch of games with a wrist injury. like
now it's Gobert that's missing time.
Payback.
Because he got COVID.
Remember when he made the whole league miss time? That was cool.
All right.
Remember when
When
he
he didn't make it
invented
happen.
his
COVID.
lockdown defense?
He invented the word. We're not supposed to say it because if you say that word on YouTube,
down.
they like.
Oh, that's
Oh,
like
I
it's a
heard
bad
They
word.
screw your video if you say the word. He invented the thing that made the bubble happen.
The bubble. We should talk about the bubble.
Man, he's
some.
great in
I
isolation.
kind
I
of
will
miss the
say.
bubble. The bubble is kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. For the temporary time.
You're tripping.
No, the bubble. You just weren't invited. The bubble was sick. The bubble was awesome.
I miss TJ Warren.
Bubble Warren.
What happened to TJ
We had
Warren?
Bubble Murray.
He's still hurt. He hasn't played
That
yet.
was the entire Jamal Murray situation. That
Oh, no.
I forgot about that.
Man got
All right.
What a time to be alive.
All right, let's
the
head to
NBA
our-
bubble.
Let's
The-
head to our
I
two,
hope that didn't pick up what you said because I don't know what it was, but Brian's reaction tells me enough.
our
Oh.
two
That's how you
guards,
gotta stop the
guys.
game.
Who's our two
Why would
guards?
you say that?
Oh, amazing.
Our two guards.
Katie's hair
For
still
me,
looking
For the bench,
For the bench, my two guards would be Chris Paul and Devin Booker, the Suns guards.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, Lucas should get it over one of them.
Luka
Over
over
Devin Booker.
over Booker.
they
I
will
mean,
not.
we still have
We have wild cards, and that's where Luca will come in. Give me CP3
Nah.
Devin Booker.
I'm not letting you
What?
disrespect Booker or I'm not letting you disrespect Luca.
I'm not letting you disrespect the
All right,
Suns.
so let's take a vote here. Raise your hand if you think Luka over
Hold on.
Booker. Us, all three people except for Jonah.
Give me Booker.
No,
I do
well,
not
he
care.
missed time.
The Suns have not even lost 10 games this season,
Did
and
we-
we're not going to only. I'm not saying Luca shouldn't be an All-Star. I'm just going to take Devin Booker over him right now. I'm going to end up putting Luca in as a wild card. It won't
So
end up
you're-
So
mattering.
you're genuinely saying you think Luka goes over Devin Booker like this season?
Or no,
I said
Booker
Booker
goes
over
over
Luca.
Or- that's what I meant. Booker goes over
Sure.
Luka. You think that for this season?
Sure.
Just because
I
they've
think
won.
the Mavs have been kind of underwhelming.
But what about Luka? Luka's averaging 26.
They're literally the 5 seed.
They're not even. I mean, I don't even
I
care.
want more from them.
What did you expect from the Mavs? You expected
A
KD,
5 seed in the
you expected
West.
Kristaps
They've been
Porzingis
on and
to
off though.
become
They've
super
had
good.
hot and
There's-
cold
they didn't-
stretches.
Literally, we talked about it. I mean, everyone was talking about this in the offseason. The Mavs didn't add much to make.
We thought they would be a
the
play-in team.
The front office of the Mavs didn't add much to make them better. They're a 5 seed. Luka's playing very well. There's no reason why we should take credit away from that based on the team.
If they didn't have Luka, they would not even be a play-in team.
Let's just stop the dumb argument. We know who's right here, and Jonah's gonna write Devin Booker.
See,
but
this
it's
is
actually
why
Luka.
I think you're putting too much into team success. Since when has
I think it's
All-Star voting
important, though.
been that much about team success?
It's not that
it's
much about team
important.
It should be a
success, but I-
tiebreaker.
It's important, but
I
Yeah.
think it is a tiebreaker though.
But there's no
I
way
really
they're
think it
tied.
is.
There's no way Booker and Luka are tied.
Luka's been a top 8 player. Booker's been like top 25 maybe.
I don't think the difference is as big as y'all are making it out to be.
I mean, it's not that big, but
It
it's
isn't,
still
but Luka's
clear.
still been
Booker's
better.
very good, but
Okay.
Luka's like great.
We'll put Luka.
Would you rather have
We'll put-
$25
no, it's
or
okay.
$20, but because you got it on a Sunday, then it's extra
What do you
good
mean?
money? I don't know.
What is your point with $25 for Sunday? For that, we
You
should-
know one is
we should
better.
have-
You know one is better, but for some reason you're just like, but because one is crinkled up and one is a clean bill, you want to say that, you
I
know.
don't think that makes any sense.
Yes, it
I
does.
Luka is
understand,
not-
I
Luka is
understand
not
the attempt.
crinkled up
I understand the
whatsoever.
attempt, but it's
You're
not a
you're
good
making him
analogy.
out to be.
I don't think I said
You
Luka's
said he's
crinkled
been
up.
disappointing this season.
I didn't say Luka has.
You
You
said
said
the team is.
Mavericks.
Yeah, but
Because
it's
the
a
Mavs
5
are
seed.
supposed to
they've
get
been
better
hot
based on
and
adding
cold.
nothing.
They've been hot and cold. I
They're
just
the
want
Dallas
consistency.
Lukas.
How are they going to get better
That is
without adding anything?
Okay,
That
we'll
doesn't
put
happen.
Luka. We'll put Luka.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
What we
the
accept.
Suns have been spectacular.
Oh, he already wrote it in.
I
Too.
mean, we.
I already
see
put
it.
Luka there. I already put Luka
All
there.
right,
Okay, let's
We'll
get,
move
let's get to
on.
the front.
Booker's going to be on the wild card, so I'm not even. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah.
front court.
It doesn't matter.
We had to, in good
Um,
conscience, I had to put Gobert.
Yeah, front court, Gobert is there.
Mm.
But sorry to sadden you guys.
I think Draymond Green is also consensus.
Draymond Green
Oh,
should
yeah.
be there. Absolutely. Oh, wait. Let me go back here for a second just to look at what's going on. Yeah. So we'll go Gobert and Draymond.
Well, honestly, Draymond should have maybe should have started.
I mean,
but it's fine.
Either way, I mean, it
It
doesn't,
doesn't
really
matter.
There's Brandon Ingram,
That's what I
but
was going to say.
Anthony Edwards.
he is front court, right?
Yes,
I
'cause
might.
he's counted as a small forward.
I can't think of anyone that goes over Ant to me.
Unless you want to have
You
Triple
can
J.
make an argument.
Um,
Come on. You can make an argument for Ingram, but I want to see Ant.
I personally
fine.
take Ant over Ingram and Wiggins.
This, no,
He's
go ahead.
gotta add
React
that.
louder.
Yes!
Finally, you get your time to shine as a Timberwolves fan. Y'all will get injured right after the All-Star break.
Shut
in the
up.
playoffs,
Shut
so it won't really matter.
We're gonna be the
but
6th
take-
seed and play the Memphis.
take advantage
in-
of it,
We're gonna
though.
play Memphis in the greatest first round series of all time.
Will
that
it be
ends in
that
5.
Shut up.
It'd be entertaining though. All right, so we have Mr. Two
And-
wild cards. Booker is there. Put him in.
I feel like we're forgetting someone.
Donovan Mitchell.
Booker. I was gonna say Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
D-Mitch, yes.
But he couldn't go in forward, so I was just like,
Yeah, and I couldn't, and I want to add him into the Luka Devin
Not even
Booker
gonna lie.
conversation.
Because that's- he's not over either of them.
Y'all are right about
Yeah.
Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You
so-
got your Chris Paul bias in there.
Yeah.
We didn't even
I
say
just
take
love
out
the
Chris Paul.
Suns backcourt.
We
I'm
didn't
not
even
gonna
say take out Chris Paul. We said take out Booker. And
They play together so well.
they,
It's
they
like
can still play together.
it's like almost as good as Shea and Chris Paul.
PB a mid-range jumper.
Theo in computer
Put that
science.
out there. Nobody even reacted.
What did you say?
Said it's Booker and CP3 are almost as good as Shea and CP3 were.
Okay.
All right.
But
So
that's not true,
let's-
obviously.
And then for this, we still have one more wild card.
Still not quite as good as Shea.
wait, I
maybe.
thought we did
No.
Booker and
Thanks.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
No. Oh wait, did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
true. That's right.
Yeah, that's our
We
wild.
go.
Is there anybody else that we could even
Snubs.
consider?
Screw you, Wiggins.
Other
I don't
than
think
like
there's any
BI,
snubs.
maybe
Take your culture
Yeah, but,
changing
like,
defense
I
and
mean,
stick it
BI or like
somewhere you don't want it.
I don't even think I would consider Brandon Ingram to be a snub if he doesn't make it based on what we have, which will this would be a good time to
He's missed
recap.
time too.
I mean, honestly, one last thing. Someone that's really impressed me this season. Deontay Murray.
Oh, just
I'm like,
Ooh,
but I can't add him in.
I think I still take Mitchell over him.
Yeah, no,
Unfor-
like, I mean,
not
he-
unfortunately, I love Donovan Mitchell. But
Oh, wait a second.
Actually,
Ant's definitely considered a guard. My bad.
oh,
Oh.
really?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Okay, well then Bi gets in at our forward spot.
Yeah, he has to.
Wait,
I
does
just-
Ant get in over Mitchell?
No.
No.
I can't
Yeah,
even
no, I'll
make
still
that
take
case.
Donovan.
I
He's
just-
get in
over
he's
Booker.
their
I
offense.
just remembered, even though Ant starts at the small forward, he is for some reason considered a shooting guard. So that is my bad.
This actually goes. I'll recap the West, and then this will go well into our next conversation.
Yeah,
Let's just recap.
When you
our
recap the
entire
West,
team.
I'm gonna stare at you during the guards just to prove a point.
Y'all were right about Luka. I'm looking directly in the
We're
camera.
good.
I was wrong. I was really biased towards the Suns team. Should we just recap
Yeah,
the entire list?
go ahead.
Or all right. East, we've already recapped them once, but we have Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Zach LaVine, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Jarrett Allen, Jason Tatum, Darius Garland, and Fred VanVleet. In the West, we have. Just give him a second.
What? Oh,
We
you gonna
have-
continue?
We have Ja Morant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Karl Anthony Towns, Nikola Jokic, Chris Paul, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Brendan Ingram, Devin Booker, and Donovan Mitchell.
Now we can talk about the problems.
I think this is what should have been agreed upon
Yeah.
in terms of starters by the fans, but people are dumb on Twitter. And hopefully coaches don't screw this up too bad.
They're gonna
and
put. I think it was
you know,
like revealed that LaMelo got in.
He
Like,
did get in. That's true.
Like 3 days ago.
So he'll probably get in
Over
over
VanVleet.
VanVleet.
Dude, this is messed up. The
Yeah.
All-Star voting is screwed up.
Let's talk about it. There's a couple different ways you can go. You can go with the voting and how players are selected. You could go with
I
the
think
way positions work.
it's the position.
I want to start off with positions. This is something I think that should have been changed a while ago. I'm not even fully on board with the positionless thing. I don't love the idea of that because you'll get a starting lineup of all guards, one center. I think what they should do is instead of having 3 front court players, I think you have kind of like an option where you have somebody that can be both. So you get your 2 guards still, 2 front court players, or 2 backcourt players, sorry. 2 backcourt, 2 front court, and then like a flex.
I was about to say
Kind of like a
flex.
fantasy
Yes.
option thing where you have one that can go either way. It'll probably be a guard most of the time, which honestly is fine with me. But if you look at the All-Star ballot, Joel Embiid is classified as center forward. Doesn't make a difference because he's in the front court. But DeMar DeRozan is classified, NBA.com, his position is guard forward. So, I mean, that alone, I think is really, really stupid that they're going to classify people as guard forward. But then when it comes to All-Star voting, we have 2 guards and 3 forwards, and you have to be one of them.
I think the problem is that they're almost always listed as a guard too.
Well,
I think if you just make them
Yeah.
guard forward, I feel like for the All-Star voting, I feel like that would solve all of that.
I think if you look at a player, they have to look at all the players and see where they play their minutes. If they play I don't know, like at least 30% of their minutes at guard and then like 70 at forward or something like that, they're eligible for both. Like there should be a number, you hit that threshold, and then you're eligible for both if you play that percentage out.
Another thing that maybe instead of like they could keep the 2 guards and 3 forwards as the starters, but what if they just made it 2 guards and then 2 front court and then they just made 3 wild card slots? That would also at least fix some of it. Just in general.
Are you talking about
in the reserve?
reserve-wise?
Yeah, the reserves.
Okay.
They could make that, or they could just make a like a wild. Yeah. So they'll have 4.
Honestly, if it was reserves, I wouldn't care if reserves were positionless. That'd even be fine with me.
Yeah, because that way you can plug, because they're going to be plugged in off the bench however they want, right? So I don't know, maybe just have like 1 and 1 and then 5 wild
I think
cards.
you have more balance too with your bench players because, I mean, if you look off what we did, I'm just going to look at the East, for example. Our starters would still be KD and Giannis.
Mhm.
We would have DeMar and Trae, and then our flex would still be Embiid. He would be the highest vote getter there. And then off the bench,
Yep.
if you were positionless, you'd have
You'd have LaMelo in probably over
Well,
Jimmy.
Levine, Harden. You'd have Tatum. Jimmy Butler would be there.
Would he?
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
he's missed too many games, dude.
No, I'm saying based off the
Oh,
numbers.
it's the voting. Why do you look at that? That only matters for starters.
That's true. I forgot.
All right. I don't think.
Stupid argument.
I
my
don't
fault.
think you should. I don't agree with that. That you should make the reserves positionless, because then it gets really hard to compare a point guard with a
No,
center.
I still think they should have positions. But if
Okay.
people push for positionless this much, and they said, fine, well, at least make the reserves positionless, I wouldn't be that upset about it. Starters, I think, should have positions, and then you have one flex.
Because like trying to compare Jarrett Allen to Fred VanVleet, it's. I mean,
No,
like
I
you
agree.
can come to a conclusion about who's better, but it's just hard to compare those two types of players. They're so different.
No, I agree with that.
One more thing is, should we just get into the broader system too? Like while we're talking about this, the fan vote should be like 25% of it, and then I would say that media or like 20, and then media and was it coaches each get 40% for the
The
starters?
players vote too. I
Or
think.
players and media get 40%.
I don't even
each.
like that.
Actually,
don't like
players
that.
no, it should
Players
be,
mess around too. Kyle Anderson got votes this year.
It should be
multiple
It
votes
should be
By
10
players or fans?
by
It
players.
should be 10% fans, 10% media, 10% players, and then 80% media.
No, I don't. No. Because there's too many people in the media out there. Well, you know, who's an
what
all-star
about
this
coaches?
year?
Why not?
You know
I
who's
think
an
it
all-star
should be
this year?
coaches.
But then the coaches are going to start like
Coaches
All
are
right.
make
Also,
every-
here
they're going to start.
There's a problem with everything.
Adam Silver needs like an all-time veto, so that if Andrew Wiggins is a starter, he can just say no.
He
Like,
won't
no.
do it.
I think-
he'll freeze to do
I
it.
think the easiest solution to your problem is this: you should not be allowed to vote any player in the league. I think this is really, really stupid that we allow anybody to be eligible to get all-star votes. Zaza Pachulia, once upon a time, got lots of votes, and the fact that he was eligible in the first place is ridiculous. And I think there has to be some kind of requirement where
They should do it in waves.
statistically you have to do this to meet this requirement, or I was listening to Pierre from Through the Wire, Pee Wee the Plug. He had said you just make a player pool, and you have to meet a certain criteria to be a part of the pool, and then you select from that instead of just the general league. And maybe Wiggins still makes the pool, but there's less convincing of a case.
What
and
if
it's going to prevent people like Kyle Anderson from getting votes? I think somebody else got votes too, which is I can't remember who it was, and I want to try to look for it now. But
I think personally, what I would do if I could like just totally revamp everything is have that like player pool thing, and maybe say like the requirements will be maybe average 15 minutes a game or something. You know, I mean you can make it low, but at least something decent where you can only get players that actually contribute. And then the last thing I go with is the actual voting itself. I think because we have fans, medias, coach, and players. So we got 4. I think what we could do is we could just split like honestly, we could split it up 25-25 or just across, because they're all not going to vote for the same person. Like the fans might all vote for Andrew Wiggins, but the media, coaches, and players aren't all going to vote for Andrew
They
Wiggins.
actually did. That was the problem too.
Well, the issue is when
was
you
like
have
6th
someone
and
like
7th
Wiggins
in
that
the-
gets such a huge number of fan votes.
Because he plays for
When
the
it's
Pacers.
25% and then the others vote for him a little bit, he gets to be a starter. Like I wouldn't assume that all those other categories voted for Andrew Wiggins
They did.
that much.
They did. though.
That really?
Yeah, he was.
I
fifth-
mean, the Andrew
he
Wiggins
was
thing.
5th for the players, and he was 6th in the media.
The Andrew Wiggins
How?
thing
For
is
front court,
is,
for front
is
court.
kind of silly in the first place because he's just being portrayed as somebody who is more valuable than he really is.
He's being mean.
And and I don't want to like say that Andrew Wiggins is a bad player or Andrew Wiggins doesn't deserve this and that. He got his spot, whatever. It's just more so that he's being misinterpreted and a little overrated, and he just happens to be the person that's now going to be the face of this situation. It could have happened to anybody. It happened to Andrew Wiggins, and he's kind of a polarizing player of sorts, where some people really, really like him, other people really, really don't, and there's some people who are obviously in the middle. But
I mean, like there honestly with that situation, I don't know how. I don't think that's going to really happen that often, and there's really nothing you can do to fix it unless you just get rid of voting in general. If he's top in all the other categories, like statistically, you'd think if you have maybe a player like Gobert, or even Kyle Anderson, that's getting voted a lot in a certain group that shouldn't, they'd get stopped by the other 75%.
You know what they should do? They should make an electoral college based off NBA teams. So depending on which fan of a team you are, your vote counts for more.
True.
That,
I mean,
then again,
they could do that and
I don't-
literally make it so that
They,
like 10% of every NBA team's. I'm not saying you should actually do this, but I'm saying 10% of every NBA team's fans counts for the same amount. So like 10% of Warriors fans is probably 20 times more than 10% of Wizards fans, but then we count for the same amount if you.
but then they can just say they're Wizards fans.
All right,
I was
we're
about
gonna
to say,
we're gonna
They
actually
can just
jump
say
into
they're
our-
Wizards
We're gonna
fans.
I was
jump into
about
our
to say.
next segment of Does the Electoral College Work? We're gonna turn this into a political podcast. I'm just kidding. No.
The other problem is that we might get Pacers starting in the All-Star game. So
No, but
Oh.
could you imagine the outrage from Lakers fans if their votes counted for less? That alone is enough to make me say no.
it's enough to make me say
It's not worth.
yes.
I'd rather.
I mean, that
I'd
should-
rather
that
have
shouldn't
Wiggins in
happen
that.
anyway.
I don't even want to listen. It's,
I'd rather have Wiggins in the All-Star game than
No.
have to listen to them.
No,
No.
had Lakers fans gotten like full control, I think Carmelo Anthony would have been an All-Star this year because he was
he's probably going to make
decently
it
high
as
with
the,
the numbers.
as the legacy guy though. He's probably going to make it.
That's true, but like
It's probably going to be like him and Blake. No.
Blake.
no,
Blake.
Oh, LaMarcus.
Udonis.
no,
Oh,
no,
Udonis.
none of those
Udonis,
guys is
right.
on
Give me Udonis.
Carmelo.
Obviously, but
Love.
like
Well, but we're talking about East and West. So.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like you've got to have guys that are elite to get that recognition. I feel like it can't
I
just
don't
be
know.
like
Udonis is such a locker room guy.
yeah, but like
I say Nick. I
keep
say,
in mind our honorary guys have been Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki.
Dork.
So Dork.
Sorry,
Dork
Dork.
Nowitzki.
Dork. We should have Kyrie on there. 'Cause
We
he's
had-
probably going to retire.
Wade and Dirk. I feel like Melo fits that criteria. Does Udonis Haslem fit that criteria? I don't think he does.
All-time great for their team.
Ish Smith.
Yeah, for their team.
That's actually a better pick. I'll take Ish Smith any day of the week over anybody ever.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
You thought I was serious for a second.
I thought you were saying that's actually a better. I thought you were saying that's a better pick than Udonis. I'm like,
We
No.
could do Russell Westbrook because he's washed.
that would be such a
Can't even
diss,
be mad
bro.
about that.
That would be so. Julius Randle.
Knicks fans will kill him. By
Well,
next
no, one
year.
of the few things we have heard from Noah is that he's resorted back to his I would trade Julius Randle for a third round.
No,
pick
he's
phase.
upgraded. He said fourth.
Oh, it's gotten worse, actually. Never mind. I didn't know that. See, it's hard to keep track of what Noah has and hasn't said to specific people.
No, he said it to me because his contract is worse now.
When did he say this to you?
This was in person.
Oh yeah, that's the only way you can talk
there
to
we
them.
go.
It was at my
yeah.
house.
Are you serious? Yeah.
Anyway,
Welcome to NBA therapy. Well, we will be giving
well,
live therapy sessions for our one struggling franchise,
Dude.
or at least one of them, because all of us are struggling right now.
One
other than maybe the
optimistic?
Timberwolves.
optimistic.
So we will have contrast. We will have in the middle of therapy and has now gotten out of therapy and is living a better life. We're going to take this time as a moment to tell people if you need help with your mental health or your NBA team, seek help. So, Theo, how do you feel?
So I'm sure we all have a vivid memory of when the Wizards were 10-3, right? We all remember that because I wouldn't shut up. I was talking about how we look like we're doing great things defensively and we're playing so well that we will probably be good for the rest of the season. Not that good. I never said we would be the 1 seed, but I said we look like we're doing things that are sustainable. We are now, hold on, let me just make sure I'm reading those numbers right. 24-27.
It's pretty good.
That's not pretty good. That's 14-24 since being 10-3, and we are so bad. It's so hard to watch. Everyone is playing bad except for Kuzma. What are you looking at?
It's all right. Stephen A. headline. Not important.
Everyone is playing bad except for Kuzma, right? I don't
No.
like Dinwiddie
Oh,
shoots
shit.
2 for 10 every night.
Oh, shit.
Every night, Dinwiddie is shooting 2 for 10. How do you even do that? Beal, I mean, he's proven that he's not the guy, right? We'll get to trade talks in a minute, but trade Beal, because if we pay him $142 million over 5 years, or $242 million over 5 years, I believe it is, that's like almost 50 million per year. Good Lord, we are going to be screwed for years because he has not proven that he can even be the second option on a championship team. Because, I mean, he averaged 30 a couple years when we were not playing great, right? And now the system isn't Scott Brooks centered around an ISO ball with the stars, and he's averaging 22 on worst shooting. So I mean, in my opinion, if you send him to like the Heat, they'll probably be very, very good, right? Because they're the Heat. But if you send him to a team where it's not, where it's like the Heat are always good if they have some talent, right? If you send him to a team where he needs to be the second option and he needs to be relied on to be that second option, they're not getting past the second round. He has not shown me anything. Like, literally, he looks like just another player in clutch moments. I'm not even kidding. He looks like just another player in clutch moments. Last year, we were the 8th seed. Westbrook always took it in clutch moments, and he would go up, he'd make a layup, he'd make a good pass, he'd do something. Give Beal the ball in clutch moments, he looks like a little bit better than KCP or something. I'm not even kidding. I've watched him for years.
It's been cool.
So trade him before we have to sign him to almost $50 million per year to keep him, and get some value, even though his value has gone down. Get some value before his value goes all the way down. Second off, Kuzma is so good, dude. He's scoring in every way. It's insane. He's been averaging like 25. He averaged like 25 or 26 in January, right?
What is it?
I'm gonna pop it off. There we go.
Okay.
You could have just.
He averaged like 25 or 26 in January. I do think we're planning to make trades. I have said this to everyone that's here. Trade everyone except for Kuzma. There is no one who I would be like, no. I would never say that to anyone if they got traded, except for Kuzma. If Kuzma gets traded, I'll be so sad. But anyone else, they can go, dude. Because Wes Unseld Jr., our coach, already said we're not running a 3-man center lineup anymore. We're not rotating 3 centers through the lineup. So one of them's got to get traded before the deadline, or else we're going to be sitting Montrezl Harrell, Thomas Bryant, or Gafford.
It's been Gafford so far.
It's been Gafford so far. I don't know if that means he's getting traded or if that means they're trying to get Harrell's value up before he gets traded. Because Tommy Shepard's a smart GM. You know, he might be trying to get some people's value up. But trade everyone except Kuzma. That's the moral of the story.
Wait 1 second. I just want to check something really quickly, and then I will get back to you.
Did you
Also, wait, okay,
Theo
since
that you found?
I found an old conversation.
Wait. Since you're checking something,
Yeah.
I just need to fill this in because it sounded like I was blaming everything on Beal. I'm just saying he's not even close to a Supermax type player. Not that all our problems are his fault. All our problems are definitely not his fault, and has been a great player for us for years. Just not. I mean, 33 mil a year to 35 mil a year is the max I would give him.
Sorry.
I found the old conversation, by the way, and this will be not very quick, but it'll be something. So earlier in the season, I think this was like 20 games into the year or so, I sent a tweet that basically showed that there were the top 8 defenses at the time, and both the Wizards and Timberwolves were in there. And it showed a stat of what they had allowed teams to shoot from 3, and the Wizards and Timberwolves so far at that point in the year had allowed teams to shoot the lowest percent from 3, right? And I said that, this might be some 3-point luck. I have a feeling that our defenses are about to dip Theo. And Theo said, we've been playing good defense though. I don't know what to tell you. And he said, then he like got mad at me for saying luck. It was like a luck thing.
We were playing good defense. That's the thing. I'm not even gonna.
You said it's complete. It's a completely different team and everything with us. Or I'm not sure arbitrary room looks. And now I just want to say, like I predicted, the Wizards went from 4th in defensive rating to 22nd.
I don't think our downfall on defense is based on luck. I think our downfall on defense is based on playing atrociously.
Well, you went from allowing opponents to shoot 31.4% from 3 to I believe it's up to 35.5 now.
Because our defense has gotten so bad. I don't like it's not even. I mean, the shots are less contested. They literally are less contested. So naturally, the percentage goes up 4% for the opposing team. Like it's not. I don't think it's even luck. I watched most games through the year, especially at the beginning of the year, and we were playing good defense. Now we're playing bad defense. It's pretty simple.
That's very tough. I will say. Let me just check something. Yeah,
Y'all
but
have the third worst point differential in the Eastern Conference. Now,
We also-
fortunately, there's
I mean-
like 5 teams out west that are still
Y'all
worse.
have a
Don't we
worse
also have the 5th worst record in the Eastern Conference? So it's
Yes.
not that far off.
yeah, but
That's
y'all
true.
have a worse point differential by the Pacers,
And the Knicks.
and it's not even by like a fluke. It's by 0.8.
Oh well, yeah, because we're gonna be below the Knicks and the Pacers soon.
Maybe.
Okay,
the Knicks,
Pacers.
yes.
Pacers are 6 games behind us.
Yeah, but the Knicks are right on you. So
Oh, actually, we did get a win last night, which it's always nice to watch your team win. But we're not gonna make the playoffs. It's the only reason it's nice is because
That Clippers game.
Harrell-
The time before that.
because Harrell had a good game and he came up clutch, which raises his value. Because I don't really want to sign him to like 16 mil a year in the offseason. Just please trade him before the deadline. I don't know what Tommy Shepard is doing, but I really hope it's something because from what I've seen in the past, he's always trying to do something in the background. Nothing's happened yet though.
feel like he's not
if Theo
actually
doesn't,
anything.
if Theo doesn't make a trade, if
Dude,
he doesn't make a trade, Theo's gonna jump off.
I've
the
been saying
bridge.
it every day that goes by and the Wizards don't make a trade, I just like get more and more desperate. Because I mean, like the John Wall and the Westbrook trades, they didn't come out of nowhere, but it's not like they were heavily rumored before being traded.
That's true.
All right.
All right. I'll be shorter about my team. They've been good. They've been very good. They got through the toughest part of their schedule while they were missing a bunch of guys, and basically every team they played were missing a bunch of guys, and they ended up around 500. In January, they were literally the number 1 offense in the league through January. Their defense dipped to like 17, but they were also like destroying teams. Like their point differential, I think, was like 4th. So I was very happy. The offense is finally clicking again. Almost everyone is back healthy. D'Lo still has like a shin thing, but he should be back pretty soon. And I looked at the thing, and we went from having like a middle schedule to after this stretch, we have the 3rd easiest schedule remaining. And I think there's legitimately a chance that we could like try to jump the Nuggets or the Mavericks or somebody, or even the Jazz if they keep sucking, for like the 6th seed, and potentially like get a. I really want a 1st round series against Memphis, like really bad, because I don't think we would win, but I think it would be like really really fun, and I think that we would maybe take it to 6, and I'd be happy with that. So yeah, that's all. Oh, and also the rumors that we might be trying to trade like D'Lo and Pat Bev. I don't really believe them. I think if we're going to make a move that big, it's going to be in the offseason. So I think that's all I need to say. Yeah. Okay. Do we want to get into some deadline people we want to see moved? Because the trade
Yes.
deadline is next week as of the recording of this episode.
So number 1 on my list, everyone except Kuzma. That's on the Washington Wizards. Number 2 on my list. That's hard. I mean, there's the Jeremy Grant thing, but I honestly feel bad for any team that trades for Jeremy Grant because they're gonna have to pay him too much. They just will, and it'll end up being like the Knicks or something.
Do you think the Bulls, the Bulls stuff has been rumored so much? Do you think that they would sacrifice like Patrick Williams for him?
No, I wouldn't.
They shouldn't.
I mean,
They probably shouldn't.
They may,
The-
because I guess if you are going to trade him for Jeremy Grant, you got to think Pat Williams is a little bit more of a project. Jeremy Grant will give you a little bit more of an immediate impact, and you don't know how long this group is going to be together.
Exactly.
well, personally,
but
I don't feel like the Bulls are the type of front office to. I mean, if you're the 1 seed, I don't think they're gonna have the idea in their minds that they're not good enough right now with what they have because
Yeah.
they're the 1 seed. I think if you're the 1 seed, then you trust your team.
Yeah, but they definitely have a hole. Like their 4 is definitely like a problem for them, and the East is filled with like super good forwards. They don't really have that, and that's the only reason I can see why. Maybe it isn't even like Jeremy Grant, but maybe it's somebody cheaper. Like maybe they swing a deal for like Josh Okogie. I don't know, for like some seconds or something. I don't know. Okay. You know who is a guy I really think is gonna get traded at the deadline that I've been calling for months? Russell Westbrook is getting traded to the Knicks.
whoa.
I'm all but convinced at this point. And I'm going to look like such an idiot or such a genius if this happens. The only reason I think so is because New York, as long as they have Thibodeau and like Rose in their front office, like Leon Rose, I think they're going to be aggressive. And I definitely think they're starting to realize that the It's like stuff like the Evan Fournier contracts and like they may be overpaid for Nerlens Noel.
Right.
They could dump that on the Lakers. Take Westbrook, who only has 2 years left on his deal, and they could probably get a pick out of it. And they could like get rid of their bad contracts and maybe turn the season around. Westbrook might be what they need because they don't really have a true point guard as of right now.
Anybody needs the greatest player of all time.
If anything, he'll be fun in New York. New York fans would hate him and love him at the same time.
It'd be incredible to watch.
It would be insane.
I feel like the Spurs, I don't know exactly who, but they have some players that could help out other teams, and they're not very good. Pirtle,
Yeah,
Keldon
Pirtle's
Johnson is pretty good.
I don't know if they're trading Keldon.
Too young.
I think I think Derek White might be on the move though.
Yeah, that's really the only one I could see. Everyone else like Keldon Johnson, DJ. What's this? Oh my goodness, the guy they drafted this year, rookie
Vassell.
Last year.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't think they're trading him.
I don't see them getting rid of any of their young core. I can just see them fully committing to the rebuild and just taking anyone that's over the age of 23 out or like 24.
Knicks fans really want DeJounte too, from what I've heard. So if they could,
They just want guards.
Reasonable
Where-
sum.
guards?
Where would Pirtle go, do you think? There's
I mean, I would feel like you have to say the Hornets if you're talking about a center.
Mhm.
I think it's hard. Like
There's
Raptors, which is funny considering, but he was drafted by them. But I think the Raptors could really use a paint presence.
I mean, I really don't see how this could happen, but I just see the Clippers on there. And I'm looking at teams that could compete and want a center.
Yeah, Clippers.
I mean, I don't know what they would do to make that deal though. Like,
Also, I feel for two guys I feel like we need to mention just because they might get cut for like salary or for like luxury tax reasons, or not cut, but they might get dealt, is Dennis Schroeder, who apparently the Celtics really want to get off his money, so they go under the luxury tax. And then also Serge Ibaka. So because if the Clippers trade him, I'm pretty sure they save like $44 million in luxury tax spending.
jeez.
oh my god.
So yeah, those two are probably gonna get dealt to somewhere. I don't know where, but they're probably gonna get dealt.
And one thing I know, I feel like this is a reoccurring theme, other than the Pacers' reoccurring theme of players that we want freed of De'Aaron Fox. Like I feel like, are we about to give up on that man getting freed?
I
Is he
think
just going to be stuck in Sacramento?
I think
for the next-
De'Aaron Fox is one of the more intriguing situations in the NBA in terms of trading, staying, the franchise itself.
Yeah.
His like career is low key turned into Get Out. I like if you've seen like some of his press conference things, he's slowly gotten like more and more defeated, and it's like kind of scary. Like swipe. I definitely think the Kings are going to trade one of De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, or Bagley at the deadline. One of them. There's no way they keep all of them on the roster.
I think Bagley and Hield should absolutely be
Go.
traded. And Fox, again, it's just interesting because he's been a guy who they could have built their team around. I mean, he's a very, very talented guard.
They drafted a bunch of point guards around him.
Yeah, I was about to
Right,
say.
and then they draft Halliburton, which I actually think is a great pick for where they got him at, and he's been
Mhm.
spectacular and will probably end up being their new cornerstone in the
Davion,
coming
too.
months. Then
Yeah.
we get Davion Mitchell. We don't have I say we, from the perspective of somebody on the Kings, we don't really have that much on the wings. We're struggling with bigs. It's just 3 talented guards.
Oh, Barnes might
are
get
young.
dealt too.
Hold up.
Barnes. But, I mean,
Basically, anyone on the Kings except for Halliburton and maybe Mitchell to me are up for grabs.
Yeah.
But somewhere where I think Buddy Hield would be deadly is Miami. They are so
Oh my
good at
gosh.
using shooters.
Jeez.
I mean, you saw what's his name? I know his name. He's the shooter.
Duncan
Duncan
Robinson.
No,
Tyler Hero.
no, he's the guy that's been like
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent. Yes, he's been really good this year. Imagine Buddy Hield on that team, dude.
Honestly,
you know who should have traded for Buddy Hield?
And
This would be a fire matchup. The Lakers. Could you imagine if the Lakers had Buddy Hield?
only they had a
How
chance
many
to get him.
problems? Yeah, I know. It really sucks for
Melo
them.
in a
Actually,
second.
they didn't even really have a chance
think-
ever.
I think they were gonna do like Trez and what's it called? They were gonna do like Trez and Kuzma for him or something.
I'm trying to imagine, like, if you're playing the Heat and you got Tyler Hero like making a few threes, they get him to sub out, like, okay, good, we're getting a break, we got Hero out. And then they're putting Duncan Robinson. Okay.
He hasn't played much, has he?
No, he's kind of been bad.
He hasn't been as
Yeah.
good. But
He got
I-
that money.
I'm also just thinking
That's fair.
the Heat
He
are
pulled a
are a
Randall.
team that could just make Buddy Hield's defensive problems not matter. Also,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
like,
Oh, for
and then he just shoots and is really good.
It's just what would they give up?
I don't know. They're always in
They
trade
have
talks,
picks.
though.
They
They
still have
have
picks.
picks. They have a lot
I
of
can honestly
solid
see if
players.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
I mean,
gave Duncan to the Kings.
yeah,
I mean, he's got some money attached to him, but he's still young. He's a shooter. He knows what he needs to do.
it's a Kings type trade.
Just-
There was a
Yeah.
rumored, there was a rumored deal, by the way, too. Apparently, there was. I saw this on Legion Hoops Ross, he's pretty reliable from what I've seen. There was a rumor that the Wolves and Celtics were talking about a Malik Beasley for what's the guy off the bench that came from the Josh Richardson and
Romeo
like,
Langford.
it was either Langford or the other guy they drafted last year. That wasn't Desmond Bain.
I forgot.
Neesmith. That's
Yes, I saw that too, so I think it's true.
I would be very down for that.
I mean,
I don't know. Apparently, it's stalled because the Wolves are looking for bigger things. I don't think that's going to happen. I would love that deal because Josh Richardson's on a shorter contract. Well, it's about the same length, and why not gamble on someone like Neesmith? I'd be cool with that.
This isn't really trade deadline, but I say this every episode. It feels like, can we just get rid of Dame the Blazers? Just, I get more and more frustrated
It makes me sad.
every single episode because we come on here. And it's like, oh, let's see what the Blazers are up to. Have they improved a little bit?
No.
Not really. They're still just above the outstanding group that's New Orleans and San Antonio and Sacramento, OKC, Houston.
not even that far above that
No,
group, actually.
They're what, a game and a half ahead of New Orleans.
And they're
I get they don't have Dame, but oh no, what changes if they have Dame? They're a 6 seed. Oh my God, what a huge like this.
I don't
It's
even
just
know.
every episode that I say this, but I'm so tired of it.
I don't even know if they need to trade Dame. They just need to do something with the
They're not going to
emergence.
get anything around him.
No,
That's their
with the
problem.
emergence of Anthony Simons, what can you get for CJ? Can you talk to the Sixers to get?
But
trade,
here's
like,
the problem.
And
If
then you're
you-
running two short guards
Exactly.
again.
If you have Dame and Anthony Simons running together, they both do the same thing on the court. One
And
just
trade
does it
them
at a
both.
higher level.
trade them both.
Yep.
Norm. Trade
Or
them both.
here's the
and
thing:
Can
you
get, like,
keep your young asset in Anthony Simons. You trade Dame. You get rid of CJ. You get rid of all these old players that you have. Replace them with young people and picks, and you start the rebuild.
just pick a direction.
But
That's,
they're
I
gonna-
think that's the biggest.
I
thing.
won't be surprised if they're like, you know what? We're a smaller market, so we need to fill seats. Let's keep Dame as long as we can. Let's keep CJ as long as we can. And it's just going to stall the development of younger players. We have more than enough time. It's going to stall the development of younger players. Dame isn't going to be able to do anything because he stopped with the loyalty stuff. I love player loyalty when it works. It's not working, and it hasn't worked ever. You went to one conference finals where you got destroyed.
Swept. Straight up swept.
We say that. I say this every episode at least. It's getting ridiculous, and I can't imagine being a Trailblazers fan right now. How mad I would be at our organization. One, for wasting however many years with Dame, but also now refusing to move on.
The fact that they got swept, I'm pretty sure Curry was out for like 2 of the games too.
That was like a
KD was out
team.
for all
KD
of
was
them.
out. Yeah.
All of them.
That was
and
the KD
they,
year.
they were missing a bunch. I remember there being a lot of injuries.
And Curry was like
It's
half
just-
injured, I
yeah.
think. But Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
he's there have been not necessarily rumors, but there have been disputes about what the Mavs should do with him
He's good.
because isn't the issue is that they don't. Some people are saying they shouldn't pay him that much,
I
right?
don't think they can afford to lose him though.
Yeah, no, he's been too good to me.
I don't know what you can get for him. Oh, Donovan Mitchell cleared the league's concussion protocol.
That's good.
He's been out like the past 2 weeks.
But what do
Jeez.
the Mavs get for him that
Brunson?
helps them that much?
Or are they taking the Celtics BS offer?
I mean,
Um,
what do they get for him that helps them
Ben
that
Simmons.
much this year?
Sorry,
Because-
I can't say
because-
that's censored. My fault.
Because re-signing him is a.
please go out and censor that.
I'm not gonna do that.
I'll
No.
put a trigger warning. Trigger warning. Ben Simmons.
Re-signing Jalen Brunson does more for your future and for now than trading him. To be honest, like, why would you trade him?
At least trade him when he's not like an unrestricted free agent in the offseason. You can actually get some value for him. Like, I think he's averaging like 17. But if I were to guess, there's stats in the winter roster.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted stats. I see it. I didn't know you.
Sorry. Let me see what he's averaging. So Jalen Brunson's averaging 16 points a game, 5.5 assists.
Dang good.
But he was coming off the bench for a while.
You know
too.
who maybe they should get rid of? Who people like everybody but Luka Porzingis and Brunson. Sounds like an easy
Hardaway.
fix.
Get rid of Hardaway. Kleba, honestly, I like Kleba.
Please give me Dorian Finney-Smith. I would love him on the
Former
Wolves.
Hokie.
I would love
No,
Dorian.
but he left us. He snaked us.
I mean, yeah, but we got to take what we can get when it comes to NBA players.
That's fair.
We have Alexander Walker and Del Curry.
Hey, we had Jarrell Eddie for a year on the Wizards.
Right. They do have Charlie Brown though, so maybe they'll bring in Snoopy during the. Hopefully they can get Snoopy and Linus. That would be
I was
crazy.
about to say, I
that-
heard
that big
The
three.
buyout market.
Oh.
Oh wait.
Run
That
that
gotta be
blanket,
time.
Linus running that blanket ISO.
Speaking
Oh.
of buyouts, where would y'all want to see Goran Dragic go?
Honestly,
Retirement home.
I
Back to the.
I do not care
I don't
where he
either.
goes.
Dude, I think
I
that
don't-
he's gonna matter.
I don't see him mattering that much.
Did it?
I don't
Wasn't
see
he
him
at a
caring
Heat
that
game?
much.
Wasn't he at a Heat game recently?
He might have.
I'm pretty sure I saw. No, I'm gonna look.
It would be
I'm
so
pretty sure.
funny if he went back.
No, he
there,
was
man.
at a Heat game. Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of want him on like maybe not the Mavericks, but Celtics could use him.
So I feel like every player the Celtics could
The
use.
Celtics need everything
They
except
need-
for a center. And
I even feel
No,
like
what the
a
Celtics
point
need,
guard
what
wouldn't
the
even
Celtics
change
need
that
is
much.
cohesion.
they need shooting. They need
Cohesiveness.
a floor
Yeah.
general. They need Damian Lillard. I'm kidding.
They need fourth quarter IT back.
Yeah, he did go to a Heat game.
I mean, put him
That's
on the
really
Bucks.
funny.
Any guard like that is always good on the Bucks.
True. Although they need a center. The Bucks need a center.
Philadelphia,
Search to the
Philadelphia for Goran.
Out of my face.
That's
they
actually
need a
pretty
I
cool.
rock with that.
See what I'm saying? Goran like fits on a lot of teams.
Yeah, but a lot of guards fit on a lot of teams.
That's
I
fair.
think.
Is there anybody that has like a really bold trade prediction they want to make? Maybe not like now, but in the off season. Like
My bold trade. Well, it's probably isn't bold, but the Wizards do absolutely nothing.
No, I don't think we're gonna trade Beal, and it's gonna be so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And when we re-sign him, you're not even gonna get a reaction. I'll just
Dog,
Be-
I'm gonna become a Pelicans fan.
I'll probably
Like I'm gonna be like a Nikhil like fanboy.
I'll probably either see the tweet and send it, or get the text that Connor sent the tweet and just say why. Why did we re-sign him?
my prediction is that in the off season, I know this is the off season, but why not? I don't think the Maury's dream of a Harden sign and trade is going to happen.
I don't believe that either.
Everyone in Philadelphia is convinced. It's like me when I thought D'Lo was coming to us in free agency that one year, and then it took until the trade deadline. Yeah, but I think that's it. Goran going to a Heat game is wild, by the way. That's hilarious.
It's so funny. I saw that. I didn't believe it was him at first.
I like when
Oh my gosh.
he played their first game of the year, and then he's basically been a bench warmer the rest of the year.
And they haven't been bad, so
No,
he's
the
like, I want to
Raptors-
go somewhere where I can win. But bro, they haven't been bad.
I think he just hates Canada. He misses
just
the
happened?
Heat culture.
Yeah.
He misses Tyler Hero being.
Oh, here we go. I have an air ball, which we haven't done in a while.
But-
and I don't even know the full context of this. But I saw this headline, and it needs to be pointed out. I'm not even going to click on the content because I don't want to give them the satisfaction, because this is probably why they hired this individual to say these kind of things. But the headline is why Stephen A is quote unquote miserable while watching John Morant. Stephen A has a very specific reason as to why he doesn't enjoy watching John Morant play.
He was literally the other day.
Because
I
he's
saw
not
the
on the
headline. He
Knicks.
was literally taking Ja over Giannis for the future.
Here we go. See,
He
They really didn't
this,
do that.
okay. You know
I'm
what?
not going to click on
We're,
it.
we're not
because
gonna.
this is-
We're
really
not
didn't do
going
that.
on a
You're right.
Stephen A
That's
rant
crazy.
right now. But this man switches in 2 days from saying this player is the greatest ever to just having some random argument against him. It's like, why?
I
Because viewers.
Yeah, I mean, it just caught me
That's
off
pretty much it.
guard. I didn't even. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the standings and I saw it. This needs to be brought up later on. But no discussion really needs to be had about that. We know who Stephen A is.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
also know who John Morant is.
Yep.
He's an all-star.
There you go.
All-star
That's-
starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time.
Okay.
And I'm sure there'll be many more. That's really all we have this episode. Any other closing thoughts?
Stay on your Grizzly like John Morant.
Other
Trade
Okay.
everyone except for Kuzma. That's the closing statement for me. Oh, like, subscribe, listen on every platform. I'm going to say it again. Even if you just go to Apple Music, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to whatever platforms you aren't listening on right now, and listen, so that we get all the stats.
We don't
Just
even
tap
care.
it. You didn't
All
gotta
these
you
things.
didn't gotta
Even
listen.
if
You just
you-
gotta tap it.
Exactly, and tell your friends, even if your friends don't care about the NBA, just tell them to turn it on and mute it randomly. Like, we get that listen, we get
Yeah.
that view.
We get tons of money from it, even if you dislike the video. Our most rabid fans are the ones that dislike the video.
Shout out to them. I really do love engagement on our videos.
Right.
I didn't really think that we would develop a fan base like that this quickly. To be 11 episodes in, to see that we've people who pretty consistently engage.
Just to dislike.
Yeah, I mean that's energy that you're wasting,
And
Or not
and
wasting,
you're giving
that
us
you're really positively investing in us.
some traction. It's great.
Make sure everybody go and smash the dislike button.
I mean,
get 100 dislikes on
hey,
today's
It's
video.
also
Think about it.
probably. I mean, I don't think that it's like some wide, vast group of people that's doing it. It's got to be one consistent follower who's really, really committed to what we're doing.
Well, here's the thing.
I think that's
Brian's
really
on the
awesome.
episode.
I agree with that, Brian. Everyone should go smash the dislike button because it doesn't hurt any of our feelings. All it does is give us the same traction as a like button. So smash the dislike button if you feel like it.
If you hate FaZe Rug, hit the dislike button. There we go. We win. Done.
I think that's going to be it for this episode, though. Hopefully, we'll be back sometime in the future because I think I said a week last time, and it's been like 2 weeks or so.
Maybe
See y'all in 2023, baby.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back for the
definitely
start of the
sometime after the trade deadline.
We'll
for
be
sure.
back for the start of the playoffs.
Yeah, just make sure y'all keep up to date when we're releasing. We're all over social media. It takes from the logo, so go drop a follow. Check out when we've got new content releasing. Like Theo said, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a good review. Share it, listen to it, stream it, wherever.
It's a lot of things that you could go do right now.
You have plenty of options. So go do at least one of them. If
We'll give
not,
out
do
high-
all of them.
I will give out high fives.
Free
everybody.
Brian high five.
I know. See,
The
like
most valuable asset.
It
You
is
get
a
to see a
goddamn-
smile on Brian's face.
Yep.
That's
And that's a
all
rare
we care
occurrence.
about. We'll see y'all later.